Hey guys, how you doing? I'm really happy to meet you all in another video. So this is the first time I'm recording at night time, and it's very interesting how the backdrop looks, and also how my Surface Pro can record so well, right? Anyway, so I gotta tell you, today's video is about how to get freelancing projects without experience, right? So now a couple of pointers here. Getting freelance project without experience is hard, right? There's all kinds of factors. There's internal, there's external. A lot of people probably, if everybody around you is working and has a job, and if you want to get freelancing, first of all, everybody's going to probably try to discourage you. If uh, that's what usually happens when you do something that's different from your herd. It's natural. There's nothing wrong about it. The second thing is you're going to face a lot of internal problems, right? You're going to have confidence issues. You're going to have problems about just trusting yourself. It's going to be hard because you're taking risks. It's really hard to take your best shot and fail. So many things. Some people even have a fear of success because your life is going to be different. Uh, so this video is not going to solve all those problems, but at the same time, it's my goal with this channel to enable you and empower you, as many of you out there, to have more freedom, and freelancing is one of the ways to do that, right? And so this video is going to be kind of like uh, an extra crutch, right? Something that you can hold on to in your journey, because what I'm going to reveal to you in this video is important for two reasons. One is, it's not just going to help you understand how your journey might look like. It's very important to understand that how a journey of a successful freelancer looks like that's the number one thing. That's one. Second thing is, it's also going to help you connect with your future clients, because a lot of your future clients are going to be either in management level in companies or businesses, or they're going to be business owners themselves, right? And these people, whatever I'm going to teach you today also applies for them, because everybody has to understand how things grow, how things start, how something new starts and grows, right? In this case, it's your freelancing career, right? And this is the biggest hurdle you'll have to ever get over, which is get freelance projects without experience, right? So to solve anything, right, even though it might seem obvious, we have to first understand why it happens, right? So why do people not hire inexperienced freelancers, even in some cases if they work for free? Like, if you're an Upwork, I'm sure if you're desperate, you might have sent some replies saying, hey, probably you're trying to prove yourself, because your head is saying, I'm not getting the job, which means people think that I'm not good enough. So you're probably trying to prove yourself a lot. You're probably shooting emails and messages and contacting people and saying, hey, I'm experienced, I can do this, I can do that, I can bring everything under the sun to your backyard or whatever, right? People over promise, and people often say they can do X, Y, and Z, because logically they think, if I say I can do X, Y, and Z, they don't have to hire a person for X separately, Y separately, and Z separately, right? But the reality is that when somebody does only one thing, they're usually much better. Like, they are better value for money. They know what they're doing. They're like a sharpened knife that does it over and over again. Anyway, I'm going way off track here. So why do people not hire inexperienced freelancers even if they work for free? Risk is the number one thing. Now, some of you might be thinking, but there's no risk, right? Like, especially when you say I work for free, there's no risk, then you're not thinking straight. You're not thinking straight, because you're probably thinking from your angle, right? Because you think money is the only thing he has to lose, which already shows that you don't understand your clients. Like, so there's a lot of risk involved when you hire somebody who hasn't done something, when you want to do anything serious. Like, think about it. Think about anything serious in your life, right? You build a house, you want a furniture, you want to do interior design, you want to go to a doctor, you want to get fit, you want to lose weight, anything serious, anything, right? For anything serious, I can guarantee you that you never want anybody inexperienced. Not even serious stuff, even semi-serious stuff, right? So let's say you want to take a cooking class, right? Would you go to somebody who says, I've never taught cooking classes before and I'd like to teach you? Would you do that? No, you don't, right? You look for people. Even if somebody claims that they are experienced, you look for signs. You look for signs that this person talks well, understands you, teaches what you want. So one thing I want to clear up really, really early is that people focus on the wrong things when they start out. Like, they really try to sharpen their skills, they try to learn too many things, they try to advertise that they do too many things, but none of that matters. The most important thing that matters is that you connect with the person in front of you. You understand that person, you understand your potential future client. That is the most important thing, right? So when you say risk, automatically you understand there are other emotions associated, which is fear. Like, there is always a fear of, if I have things and if it goes wrong, what happens? So there's a mental calculation going, right? So why am I telling you all these things? The reason I'm telling you this is because, again, the concept I want to stress a lot is that the most important thing is that you connect with this person. Most important thing is that the person opposite to you, feels like you understand them. That is the number one thing to begin anything, especially when you do a freelancer, because there might be a big gap. You might be working in a company right now, you're in four walls, somebody brings you the project, there's a client, there's a project management software, your marketing team takes care of stuff, your boss takes care of stuff, but they're the ones doing the real work. They show your clients that they understand them, right? They understand, they have put the work to understand the clients, which is what you're going to be doing most of your time to kickstart your freelancing career or your business, anything, right? Now, there's uncertainty. Nobody likes uncertainty. People love assurances, right? People love to know that guarantees they want, right? You have to know all of these. Why do you need all of this? Because even by just stating all these things, you're already connecting with that person. That when you show that you understand that this is a risk, people are like, okay, this person gets me, and that's cool. So probably a lot of you even get into a situation where it's like a chicken egg scenario, because, well, I'm not getting any projects because I don't have experience, but I don't have experience because I'm not getting any projects, and I know it's tough, and it's probably you're on the verge of giving up. Probably at this point, because I say risk, you're probably thinking, so nobody will take risk, right? That's your big question, right? Who's going to take risk? Now, here's the good news. There's good news and bad news. Bad news is that majority of the people are not going to give work to you. Just think about it, right? Especially the ones you think are the most qualified to give you the work. They'll be the ones who will not give you the work. Like, the most qualified people who you think they should give you the work are people in big companies, people who probably have a lot of money, because you probably think if they have a lot of money, there's not a lot of risk. But these are the people who will not come to you, because these are the people who can afford to go to somebody who can deliver them more, right? And you might think, no, but, well, I can do it for free, so they are winning anyway. No, they don't know that. And you don't know that, to be honest, because you have never worked with anybody. It's just your own blind confidence that you're telling me this. And in many cases, I'm not telling this to discourage you, because you're smart, I get it. But from my experience, I've often felt like an idiot because I assumed that I knew my clients. I assumed, and I got angry that people wouldn't give me the jobs, because I was like, what do I do? Like, most smart people make this mistake. I know a CTO who's super, not super old. I hope he doesn't see this, but he's pretty old, I guess, older than me. At least that is true. And he's super smart. And he himself said, well, if you want to compete, then you reduce the price. And that's, no, people don't think like that. Like, think about it. Like, there are five doctors and one doctor says, oh, well, I'll treat you for free. You'll think, oh, there's something wrong with this guy, right? Same goes for interior designers, a real estate agent, anything. You're always like suspicious because the people who are worth it usually charge for it. And you want to work with people who are worth it, especially when you do something seriously. So, again, coming to the answer. So, is nobody going to take risk? Well, there's good news. The good news is that there are a small group of people in every market who are willing to take risk. Small group of people, really small group of people. And it is through these group of people you are going to establish your career. It's not going to be a majority. Majority will say no to you. Why should they take you? You're a risk. Your uncertainty. You make them feel fear. You probably don't know how to talk to them, right? So, but there is a small group of people, and I'm not telling this to just be like, just so anyway, I put the slide called "Every town has a risk taker." I translated this from my mother tongue. I made the same video in Tamil, which is my mother tongue, and it's a funny saying. But if you translate that to roughly English, it says every town has a risk taker, and uh, that's a poster of a of a fantasy movie, very famous in South India. It's a pretty good movie, and it's a cartoon version of it. Anyway, so every town has a risk taker. You should know that, and it's small percentage, which is why it makes it really hard to find these people. It's a small percentage. I'm not going to lie. It's a small percentage. You should know that. And but it's kind of cool to know that every town has a risk taker, isn't it? Right? Now, again, I wanna. How do you know this? Like, how do you know this? Why should you trust me? You don't have to trust me. You can trust this book and this guy, this old man here. He's no more he's no more with us. If he was alive, he would be 88. He died in 2004, I guess, 14. I'm not sure. But he wrote this book called Diffusion of Innovations, which is basically he made up a theory, not made up. He discovered a theory. He proposed a theory of saying how something new, which is innovation, when you do innovation in anything, how does that spread? And he came up with this beautiful, voila, that chart. Okay, I just want to make sure that I'm sharing my screen. So he made this beautiful chart, right? And he takes any market, right? When I say market, a market is a rough collection of everybody who can buy certain services and who will want to buy certain services, right? So today in the world, we know that mobile phones market is massive. There are probably like some people who probably never use cell phones, right? I'm not friends with any of them, right? Anyway, but imagine how the cell phone spread in the early days, right? It didn't just be like somebody didn't recognize that, ooh, there's a lot of potential, let's just pour millions of money into this so it can manufacture it massively in a large scale, and then everybody gets cheap cell phones. No, it starts humbly. Somebody makes something, it's expensive in the beginning, and then those are the innovators usually, right? Or they're the discoverers, and then you have to really go to this small group of people in your audience who will accept you. It's going to be really tiny. There's going to be that market, and they are like the spark of the fire, right? And then once they do it, and the reason why these people are okay to do it is because they're usually okay to take risks. The risk tolerance, if they take risk, they don't have a lot to lose. That's why they do it, right? And then the idea spreads to the early adopters, right? You can take this and apply to any concept: the internet, mobile phones, a new haircut, a trend in fashion, a book, a way you do business, anything. And it applies to your business too. Like, let's say there's no pizza shop in your whole town, and you're the first person who introduces something called pizza in your town, right? I hope that doesn't exist anymore, but at some point in the past, it has happened, right? And then think, this is how it'll happen. Everybody's not willing to take the risk and go and just be like, okay, I'll try this new thing. No, right? Everybody's not going to do that. Now, it's very important to notice that you can't just put people in these boxes and say they'll always behave like that. It depends on different things for different people. So, for example, you might be an innovator in some things. You might be an early adopter in some things. You might be a laggard in some things, which means you'll not do this until everybody does it. Probably a fashion, right? I think so. I don't expect a lot of people who watch this to be early adopters in fashion, right? You usually play it safe. You're like, I just want to dress just like everybody does, right? But at the same time, maybe a new technology comes out, maybe a new tool comes out, maybe a new video game comes out. I don't know, even that, you might be willing to jump and take the risk. So, what I'm trying to say here is that when it comes to putting people in these categories, it really depends on what and who. It's a combination, right? And where they are in their life, I guess. Sometimes you could be an early adopter when you are a young person, and then as you grow older, you might become a laggard, because and every time there are factors that influence these people. Right now, again, the reason I'm telling you this is because you have to think of yourself as this new concept, and you're going to find your own innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, and laggards, right? So laggards are the people who are like, usually, I think in many cases, at least in terms of technology, laggards are the old people. They don't want to touch something new that's a technology that comes out, right? But that doesn't mean all old people are like that, but it's just a general observation, I would say, right? Now, the thing is, when you start out, you are new, you don't have experience, right? And you're going to have to find your own innovators and early adopters. Actually, you have to find your innovators first, right? Because you are like a product, right? That somebody has to use to figure out, like they are creating you almost, because you are nothing. You have no experience. Yes, you have worked in a company, but you don't have experience even interacting and communicating with the client. You don't have experience understanding their requirements. And that's like, I started this video by telling that that's the biggest part. That is the biggest part. And if you do that, you basically can, the world is yours when you show people that you can understand them, right? Trust me, that is the most important thing. You have to understand your clients. Understand, meaning really understand, not just be like, yo, of course I understand them. No, listen to them, ask them questions. First of all, where are you going to find these people? It's hard work, right? Which is why I put again that you have to find the 2.5%, which means if you approach 100 people who are actually in your market, right, who can actually employ you as a freelancer, only 2.5% of them, 2.5 people, will actually be okay to give you a chance. So that's a lot of hard work. But the thing is, once you do that, once you get your first break, you open up a big market again. That's the early adopters. People are like, okay, you know what, this guy has a little bit and I'm willing to take that. And that's 13%. Which means, again, if you approach 100 people, this happens. Now what happens is, at some point, your growth is going to go up. Like when you do good work, you get testimonials, and then what happens is people will start approaching you, people will start finding you, because you will learn where to be in this journey of moving from innovator to early adopters, finding your early adopters. You will learn many things, and that will self fulfill its own growth. It's amazing, right? So don't give up. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Jesus, my mother is calling. So don't give up, right? That's exactly what I want to tell you. And I made this video clearly just for newbies, like new people on Upwork, especially because I know how it is. I tried it 2 times. Like the first time I gave up, like 8 months I tried. I sent a lot of feedback. I thought I could outsmart it, but it doesn't work like that. Why does it not work like that? Why does it why can't you outsmart it? There is a video I made. You should go back to that video and watch it. It's called Introduction to How to Get Win Jobs on Upwork. It's a 2019 video. Don't watch my old video. So anyway, so this is how your growth is going to be. This is how the growth is going to be for any business. This is how the growth is going to be for your growth as a freelancer, right? And once you cross a certain stage, like if you're like me, my life is set, I would say. Like I get 4 people reaching out to me like every two weeks. So that's like 2 people a week. No. Yeah, 2 people a week, I would say, or 1 person a week. I get emails, right? And I can say I'm not there yet. Like there are even more successful freelancers who are like booked for 4 months in advance. Like think about that. Like probably you get shitty clients who come and say, hey, I need this done in 24 hours. And then, they probably offer you low money. But there are freelancers who people are willing to wait for 3 months to just work with them. Why? Right? They're probably expensive, but it's assurance, right? It's the trust. It's the fact that they have had testimonials, they've worked on other projects, they've worked on successful projects and things like that. And that doesn't happen overnight. But at least I thought, knowing this little graph in front of you, right? I want to know that, I want to reinstate that this innovators, they are the spark, they're the starters, they're the people who are going to give you your first project. And finding your innovators is not the same process as finding your early adopters. So when you market to innovators, it's going to be different. When you find your early adopters, it's going to be different. It's going to be early majority, late majority is going to be different. Because for example, right now, I'm finding my early majority and late majority, somewhere in between. So right now I have testimonials. You probably don't have testimonials. You don't have feedback, right? Because you're starting out new. So you won't have any of that. So how are you going to get the project? Right? But before I reveal you how to do that, I want you to really understand this is the pattern, right? This is how your growth is going to be, right? And once you cross the early struggle, see how slowly this part is, the graph, right? It's super small, really, really tiny percent. But once you cross that, you're going to be open up. It's going to happen very soon if you just stick to what you're doing, which is trying to get freelance projects. Right? And I hope this channel is of help to you. Like, that's why I created this. It's basically, I want as many people to have the same freedom I have so that you can pursue higher things. I'm not going to say that doing this is going to make you all the happiness in the world. At least it opens up my time to work on myself, to do the things that I want, I really want, which is not just sitting in a cubicle, which is not running behind deadlines, which is having a lot of time for myself, a lot of time, and affording the things I want, and taking time off in the middle of the day to do whatever I want, waking up whenever I want, things like that. So, and the early adopters are the most important thing as a beginning freelancer, because these guys are going to turn you from a spark to like a torch, right? And you need to know how to approach these people, how to find them, how to start with your innovators, and how to go to your early adopters. You need to really do that, right? So how do you find these risk-taking clients who hire inexperienced ones? That's part two, right? And I really like your comments, right? Your comments keep me going because it shows that I'm not doing something that's useless, right? So I would really like your comments. And yeah, so, and also, let me know if you like this video. Let me know why you like this video, because some people put comments saying just make more videos. Like, I'd like to know. It's really hard to understand who you are, where you're from, what is it that you come from, like what is motivating you, what do you want. Like, nobody tells me that, like, so I would like if you can give as many details as possible of why you like my videos, and also what would you like me to make more videos on. What are you struggling with? What is it that you need help with? It can be anything, trust me. It can be anything. It can be that you don't know what to do. It can be that you're feeling afraid. Anything. It could be something you feel, it's tangible. No problem, just comment there, right? And thank you again a lot for your time. And if you like this video, click the like button. And if you really love this video, subscribe to the channel, because I'll be making every video in two languages. One is in English, one is in my mother tongue, which is Tamil. And again, comment what you want, why and how this helped, right? And why you want what you want, right? That's the context I want you to give me. And share this video, right? One of the main things I want to help spread is the feeling of abundance, because truly the world has everything for everybody, right? Maybe you come from a third world country, maybe you come from a developing country like me, right? And we are put through a lot of hardships that we start believing that there's not enough for everybody. It's not true. It's just not true. It's really hard to explain right now, but it's in our own heads, right? When you start believing that there is enough for everybody, when your actions are like that, right? Of course, everybody has to act the same way, but it starts with one person, and that person can be you. So what I tell you is that don't think of this like, if you learn this, it's going to, if somebody else learns this, it's one person you have to compete with. That's not how this works. The way you're going to make money, the way you're going to grow as a freelancer is by helping other people, regardless, not just your clients, right? You bring in more value and take a small chunk of that value as money. That's how you become rich, right? So Share this video. I honestly believe the more you give, the more you get, right? And that's one of the reasons I'm doing this. I'm not, I'm not getting paid yet for any of these videos, right? But I hope that by doing these videos and really helping people someday, maybe I'll be doing a good enough job that I can actually produce paid material and coaching classes or whatever, so that all my students actually get results, right? So I don't have to do something where I'm the only happy person. I'm more like everybody who pays me has to get more than what they paid me. That's my goal, and that should be a goal. That should be all our goals as human beings, right? We always give more than what we get and make this world a better place for everybody. Thank you very much. Sorry for all that unwanted, you know, but maybe, I don't know, maybe it was boring you, but it's what I really believe. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you so much for spending your time and watching this video. See you again in another video in part 2 soon.